Hi, this is Professor Moss, and I am going to give you an overview of the BUS 305 Personal Finance class. This is a class that is being offered online by Canvas and McGraw-Hill Connect through Reinhardt. It is being offered fall semester, second session. It will begin on October the 12th and run through December the 5th, 2020. Again, my name is Cindy Moss, and I am a instructor with the McCamish School of Business. My email is cam@reinhardt.edu. My cell number is 770-894-9236. I generally will check emails during office hours at Reinhardt, and then I do check them again in the evenings before 9 o'clock p.m. If you send me an email after 9, I generally will not check it until the next day. My office hours are as needed, and it's usually via Teams, email, or text. We can meet through Teams for face help, or we can collaborate through the Canvas collaboration button. If you send me an email, I generally will try to get back to you within 4 to 5 hours. I will schedule one team meeting the second week after we get the class started so that I can go over your final presentation with you. I would ask that if at all possible that you join me for the team meeting so that you have questions about the final presentation that I can answer them for you. Now, what does it take to be successful in this class? First thing is you must be prepared to spend at least 3 hours a week on class content. And then you're going to have to read your chapters and do the assigned work in order to successfully complete this class. This class is being done in an 8-week session, and it's 16 weeks of work, so you do have quite a bit of work that you have to do. So you are going to have to make yourself sit down. You need to say on Mondays I'm starting my new week, and here's what I'm going to do. Be prepared to spend 30, 35, 40 minutes every day doing some of your classwork to make sure you don't fall behind. I do have deadlines. If you miss those deadlines, you do receive a 0. I will not extend deadlines unless it is an absolute emergency, and having to take your dog to the vet is not an emergency. An emergency, in my opinion, is you're dead or you're dying, or someone in your family has. And by that, I would need some type of documentation. So stay on track, do your work, and do not fall behind. Again, the dates are Monday, October the 12th through December the 5th, 2020. Again, this is an online Canvas class and using Connect as our learning management. In Canvas, you're going to go to the Getting Started module, and you will find the syllabus, you will find the tentative schedule, and then you will have your work broke down by weeks. This is a screenshot of what your Canvas class looks like. So when you log in and you go to BUS 305, over here on the left side are your tabs. You're going to work mostly from the module tab. The grade tab is where I will make sure all your grades are posted. The people is where everyone that's within our class. This is your McGraw-Hill link that when you click on it, it will take you to our class. When you go into the modules, week 1, I just need you to post. You click on that. It's a discussion board. And you have to tell me that you're here in order for me to count you present and that you are cleared with the registrar. Then we have our syllabus, our schedule that I would suggest that you make sure that you print that off and have it with you at all times. This is the PowerPoint that you're watching right now. And then these are just some other information, course information, learning methodology, course objectives, outcomes. There's a little bit about me. And then there's also a narrated overview on how to use PowerPoint. This is a copy of the case study questions that you will be doing each week, and this is a copy of the discussion board questions that you will do each week. Again, that's just for you to have so that you're not having to flip back and forth with the syllabus to see what it is. Then you go to start the class October the 12th. Every class will have a narrated PowerPoint, and I have just gone and taken the PowerPoints that I had created for my on-campus class, and I've narrated them for you as an overview of what the chapters are going to be like. Then you have your discussion board, and we'll talk a little bit more about discussion boards. This is your chapter 1 Learn Smart, or sometimes they call it Smart Book, and there's like 20 questions. It's 20 minutes. You also have a quiz, and then you have a case study. So I couldn't get all of that on there, but that just kind of gives you a quick overview of what your Canvas class is going to look like. How to get your ebook and your Connect access code. You are going to go into Canvas, and there is a tab for the McGraw-Hill. When you click on that, it will take you to the link where you're going to sign up for your access code. I think it's around anywhere from $74 to $80. You do have to have this in order to stay in the class. You can also sign up for a 10-day free trial, and it begins October the 10th through the 17th. After that time, if you don't have the Connect license, you're not going to have access to Connect, and you will need to withdraw from the class. Again, this is a mandatory requirement that you do have your Connect ebook and the access license to get into the Connect class. Once you have logged in to our class, which is shown again at the bottom of the screen with the HTTP Connect link, then you are going to be able to purchase your access code and book, or you'll be able to sign in for the 10-day free trial until you can get the book access. You will need to create a username and a password, so make sure it is something that you're going to remember, because I do not have access to it. Once you get into Connect, then this is where you're going to do your Learn Smart. You're going to do quizzes. There are also in there some PowerPoints, some narrated PowerPoints that I have done that you can review. The final exam is also in there, and I'm going to show you a little bit about that in just a moment. I'm going to give you an overview on how to use McGraw-Hill Connect if you have never used Connect in any of your other classes. Now I'm having to go in through my account, which is the instructor account, so yours is going to look just a little bit different than mine. But I do want to show you a couple of things that you will do when you're getting ready to start Connect. So once you've launched Connect through your Canvas account, the McGraw-Hill link, you will come to your assignment page, and again it's going to look a little bit different, and I think on your left hand side there will be something that says practice. That is what your Learn Smarts are going to be under, but I want to show you how to do that. Look at the quiz, the financial problem, and then I will try to at least launch one that's the student view that shows you what your view looks like. So there is a link for your exams, and if you click under exams, you will notice that there's a practice midterm and a practice final. These do not have mine don't have the red. That means I did not post them in McGraw-Hill, you'll have to launch them. You'll have to get them directly from here because that way I don't have a grade. The practice exam grades do not count, but it is a great way to study. And so then there's your midterm and there's your spring. So if you look at week 1, this is what you will be doing in Connect. Here is chapter 1, Learn Smart, or they call it a smart book. So when I click on it, and I've got to go in through the student view, so let's see if I can get into it. Okay, here it comes, launching my book. Okay, so it has launched, and it has, and I'm sorry it's not going to show, won't let me pull this over, but this says the stages of the family situation and financial needs of an adult are called, and this would be the adult life cycle. And they give you 4 choices. I know it, think so, unsure, or no idea. And I know that, and notice it tells me it's okay. So when I click okay, notice I started with 25 and now it's down to 24. Here's a true false question. They're all multiple choice, true false. Values are the ideas and principles that a person considers correct, desirable, and important. And I would say that's a true statement. I know it, and it is true. Now I'm going to miss one because I want to show you something. Have 23. Which of the following is not an influence on personal financial planning as shown on the 4th step of the financial planning process? And it says click the answer. Okay, so personal values, life situation, gold prices, economic factors. Now, if I was doing this, I would know that it's gold prices has no influence on personal financing. So that would be the answer, which is not, but I'm going to put economic just to show you. And I think so. Oh, it's wrong. And so then it gives me the correct answer. Now, one thing I want you to know is that when you miss a question, you will see that question again. So put it in your mind, jot it down or something. So I tell it, okay, and then it goes on to the next one. But you see, I still have 23. So that shows me that I missed one and I'm going to get that one again. This one says, which of the following is true regarding global influences of American consumption? And here's another hint. Check all that apply. So you would, anytime it says all, there's going to be more than one. Okay. So that is how you use the Connect. And I'm going to see if I can get in and do one that's just in the student view so I can show you how to do that. Okay, this is an example of your view that you're going to get when you go into McGraw-Hill Connect. You can rent a book, which you do not need to. If you would like to have a loose leaf option, you can actually buy them. I think they're about $15. I tell my students, if you want to buy this is a great resource item that you can keep and use forever and ever and ever. All right, this is your smart book right there. Here is your ebook, is where you're going to look at that one. So that's where you're going to look at that. So I want to go to, there's the exams. All right, I'm going to go to week 1. And this it right here, it says chapter 1, personal planning, financial planning in action, smart book, learn smart. I click here. It says it takes about 20 minutes, and let's see if it'll bring it up. All right, and it brings it up. All right, this assignment, you can complete it 0%, but I'm going to tell it okay. All right, true or false? A financial plan is a formalized report that summarizes your current financial activities. And we know that that's true, and I tell it okay. And it's okay. All right, the stages in the family situation and financial needs of an adult are called the adult life cycle. And I know that. Again, all this is I can read about it. If I say no idea, it's going to skip it. It's going to give me the correct answer, but it's going to, again, put it back in my group that I have to know. So I know that one, and it's okay. Um, values are ideas and principles that a person considers correct, desirable, important. We know that one's true, and I'm going to miss the next one just to show you. Okay, we did this one. Which of the following is not an influence on personal financial planning as shown? And we knew that the correct answer is gold, but I'm going to say life situation. I'm not sure about that, but I think I do think so. Okay, and it's correct, incorrect. I can read about it again. I can challenge it, which I'm not going to. So that is how you do your smart book in that one. Now let's see if it'll let me go back. I don't think it will. I wanted to get back to my quizzes, but it won't let me go back. So I've gone into McGraw-Hill Connect and I have launched Learn Smart under Chapter 1. So I want to tell you a couple of things on how you're going to do this. Again, once you're in here, you have a question. This one is a fill in the blank, and it tells us to click the answer that we think is right. So the question is, another name used for calculating present value is. Compounding is the other term for future value. So when I look at these four, I think, okay, which of these four is it? I'm going to select discounting. Now, once I've selected it, it turns it gray, puts a check mark by it, and it says, do you know the answer? If I am 90% sure, I can say, yes, I know. I think I might know it. I'm unsure, no idea. I can also click on read about it. If I do that, it's actually going to take me to the page in the book, highlight it, where this term is going to be shown. It won't give you another name, but it will talk about which one of these are. So we've decided that we're going to say discounting, and I think that that might be the correct answer. So I click on I know it. And it comes up and tells me that it is correct. So I tell it okay. Now you can also challenge, but they're right, so don't waste your time challenging. So I tell it okay. Now, if you look down here, you will notice now that I have 25 items. Once I have answered all 26 of these correctly, then it will be 0 and it will put in the grade book that I have completed. It is for 100%. Now, the next one is interest rates are affected by the following. Notice here it says check all that apply. So when I look at these, I say, okay, demand for goods and services. I think that will affect interest rates. Time value of money does not affect it, but the supply of goods does. So I'm going to select that one also. Now, if this said the cost of real estate by itself, I could use that one, but it has a clue here. It says only, so I don't think that is correct. Do I know the answer? I think I do, so I say think so, and it is correct. I tell it, okay. Now I'm down to 24 items. All right, so now we're going to look at this one, and I'm going to intentionally miss this one so that you can see what happens. Samantha wants to buy a new watch that costs $100. She decides to wait a year. All other factors being equal, if inflation is 4%, the watch will cost next year. And I really have no idea how to do that. So I'm going to read about it. And I'm going to come up here and it's going to go to the book and it'll bring it up. I hope it's going to bring it back up. It's just taking it a while. Must be a lot of people on the internet tonight. All right. And it says inflation is a rise in the general level of prices. So it says the time of the buying power. For example, if it's 5%, last year it was 100, it's going to be 105. So I know that was 4%, it was 100. So I kind of know what it is. So I go back and I'm going to type in here $104. And I'm going to say, I think I know it. And it says 104. It is correct. And I tell it, okay. All right, so that's kind of how you do. It says I'm going to do one more for you. Your life situation, personal values, and economic factors influence what? I'm just going to miss this one correct. I mean, I write out so that you'll see. I'm going to say it influences my financial problems. And I'm just 100% sure that's correct. Uh-oh. It says, sorry, your answers, but it also tells me what the correct financial plan is the correct answer. So I know that my financial problems was wrong. Now, I want you to notice one more thing before I quit. Right now I have 23. When I tell this okay, I still have 23 because I missed that one. So it's going to come back. I'm going to see that one again. Again, it's set for 20 minutes. That means, so in 20 minutes, if you know these answers, you should be able to finish them in 23 minutes, 20 minutes. You can complete them faster. So if you get through in 15 minutes, that's fine. You can go a little bit over, but that's how it gauges what questions to ask. So I hope this has helped you a little bit to know a little bit about how to do this. Okay, every Thursday, and the dates are listed here, you will have a discussion board that will be due by 9 o'clock. Your original discussion board is in Canvas, and it must be your response should be 200 words minimum with a citation, and it is to be posted by 9 o'clock on Thursday. You also have to respond to 3 of your classmates or their discussion board posting by the following Sunday with 125 words. Now, when you go into Canvas and you log into Canvas, you're going to see it shows you how to, there's some, the first thing shows you how to navigate through Canvas. But then under modules, then this is where you're going to find all of your work. So if I clicked on week 1, and there are my narrated PowerPoints for chapter 1 and 2, and here is my discussion board question: what college students need to know. So when you click on that, then it'll bring up where you're going to post your answer. In Canvas, if you'll scroll all the way down, I actually have the discussion board questions printed for you that you can print off a copy and keep. Also, here's your Learn Smart for Chapter 1, your quiz for Chapter 1, and your financial problems for Chapter 1. And then there it is for your Learn Smart for Chapter 2, your quiz for Chapter 2, financial problems, and then here is your case study. For week 1, if you'll notice, it says case study 0 points. I did not assign a case study for the first week, just to kind of help you get started and not be so overwhelmed with the amount of work you have to do. All right, and just to recap, every Sunday you're going to have a Learn Smart, and it's in Connect for each chapter, 20 minutes. 20 minutes maximum. You also have a quiz for each chapter, and it consists of 10 questions. You have 5 financial application problems for each chapter, and there are 5 questions. Your quiz is worth 50 points. Your financial application questions are worth 50 points, 20 for each one. Those two together will be your quiz grade. You also will have a case study in EagleWeb. Your answer must be keyed in a Word document, 150 words, and then you upload it in coursework in EagleWeb. Case studies, and that their case study will be from one of the 2 chapters. Your discussion board question will generally come from one chapter, and then your case study will be from the other chapter. problems that really come from the study of the chapter in depth. My on-campus classes are having a little difficulty with these. So what I'm going to do is each week I'm going to try to give you examples that will correlate with the questions that you may see in the financial application problems. They will not be the exact questions, but by looking at these, then it'll help you be able to figure out how to do the problems. Most of them you can either do in Excel or you can do on a calculator to come up with the correct answer. So I hope that it'll help if I do these for you. And your final presentation. I'm just going to briefly go over this because I will go over it again as we get started. I don't want to overwhelm you with this. Your final presentation is a recorded PowerPoint, just kind of what I'm doing in PowerPoint, hit recording, and then you narrate each slide. It should be 10 to 15 minutes in length. A minimum of 14 slides because you have an introductory slide. You have at the end a summary slide telling me what you learned in the class, and then finally you have a reference slide. It is to be narrated. I must hear your voice, and you are to use SmartArt and not bullets. There will be a one for you to look at to see how it's kind of done. It's a real simple one that I've done just to give you an idea of what you're going to do. Also in EagleWeb, you'll find the rubric, also the grading criteria, and also the questions that you answer. So don't worry much about this right now. You'll, like I said, you'll see more about it in just a couple of weeks. So finally, just a couple of things that I want to remind you of. Stay ahead. Don't start trying to finish all your work on Sunday night. You're not going to do your very best work. You need to, on Monday, start with maybe your case study, working on it, do your discussion board question, go ahead and get it posted, and then do your Learn Smart, your quizzes, and your financial application problems. Make sure you're on time. Again, this is only an 8-week class, so you have a lot of work to do, so you can't afford to get behind. Late work is not accepted unless it, again, is an extreme emergency. And again, you want to be professional. You want to show professionalism in your writing, especially in discussion boards. You want to, when you're discussing the question with your classmates, you want to use a professional tone. You never want to criticize. Yes, I would suggest if you can offer positive criticism, then you can say, you know, I agree with you, but if you look at it from this point of view, you might change your mind. So again, if you have any questions, please be sure to get in touch with me before the class begins. Thank you, and I look forward to this class.